Hello students, today's topic for the class is defense mechanism in plants. As you have studied in the last class about host-parasite interaction which was necessary for a plant to get a disease. Okay. So now what exactly the plant does when it gets infected. So that is what we will be studying in today's topic. The heading is defense mechanism in plants. Now what is exactly defense mechanism is? As you all know, we humans have a very good immune system, but such type of immune system lacks in case of plants. So what does the plant do? Plants, when they get infected or before the entry of the pathogens, they will start producing some of the compounds. Okay, and these compounds will start fighting against the pathogens. Now what are pathogens? Why are they present? So all these things we'll study in this particular introduction. So plants as such, it produces a lot of exudates. It might be through the leaves, through the roots, or it might be through the fruits, flowers, etc., etc., etc. Now all these exudates are rich in nutrients. So it favors the growth of many microorganisms like fungi, bacteria, viruses, nematodes, insects, etc. These particular organisms, when they start infecting the plant or when they start coming near to the plant for infection, the plants will start developing an array of structural variations, it might be, or chemical variations, or some protein based reactions which act as defense mechanism in them. Each plant very commonly is affected by about 100 different types of microorganisms, which include, as I told you, fungi, bacteria, viruses, etc. So before moving on with what exactly the defense mechanism, we'll just recall something from the last class. It's a definition of a host. Now what is a host? Host is a living organism from which the other organism derives food. And what is a pathogen, or so called as a parasite? A pathogen is any agent which can cause disease. Now when this host and the pathogen interacts, there will be the development of disease. There is a third word called as resistance. Now what is resistance? If the plant develops the ability to overcome such particular infections completely or partially, then such particular host plant is called as resistant plant. So moving on with the defense mechanisms, this particular defense mechanism which favors the growth of plants by inhibiting the growth of microorganisms can be broadly divided into two as structural defense mechanism and biochemical defense mechanism. So what is structural defense mechanism? Structural defense mechanism is a process where different structures are formed or present in the plant so that it acts as a barrier against the pathogens. In biochemical defense mechanism, so the chemicals that are present already in the plant or produced in the plant act as a barrier against the pathogens. Now let us move on with structural defense mechanism. It is again divided into two types as pre-existing structural defense mechanism and post-infectional, or so called as a induced structural defense mechanism. Now what is pre-existing structural defense mechanism and induced structural defense mechanism? Pre-existing is the one already present in the plant. So that structure which is already present in the plant, it acts as a barrier. It's not present because some pathogens come and attack. No, it's already present as a part of the plant. Okay, so post-infectional or induced is the one once the pathogen comes and lodges on the surface, as I was telling you in the last class. So for the host parasite interaction to occur, the parasite has to come, lodge on the surface, and then it has to produce the germ tubes, it has to protrude, etc. So during these particular process, the pathogen starts secreting some of the enzymes which makes, so called as a induces the plant to develop some of the structures, that is called as post-infectional or induced structural defense mechanism. So next one, it is a biochemical defense mechanism. So in this again there is two types, pre-existing as well as post-infectional or biochemical defense mechanism. So what is pre-existing? the chemicals which are already present in the plant act as a barrier against the pathogen, whereas in post-infection, as it is told, it is after the infection the plant produces some of the chemicals which act against the pathogens. So, in today's class we will exclusively speak about pre-existing structural defense mechanism. In pre-existing structural defense mechanism, there are different plant structures which act as a barriers. So, the first one is wax, the next one is the cuticle, then thickness or toughness of the epidermal cells it might be, the natural openings like stomata and lenticels may be, or it might be the sclerenchyma cells. So, we will study one by one. So, the first one it is wax. As you all know, wax is a thick layer which consists of mixture of long chain lipids. Okay. So, this particular wax is present as a outermost layer in the cuticle. You can see this particular image. So, here you can see the topmost layer is a thick wax that is present above the cuticle. Now, what exactly it does? So, this wax, since it has a high amount of lipids, they are hydrophobic in nature. So, what exactly hydrophobic? So, it will not allow the water content. Okay. So, in such cases, whenever we say any parasite has to come, lodge and germinate, so this pathogen or a parasite needs to have some water content for their next process of germination. So, this will be inhibited. That is one best example. So, the wax also acts as a protective covering on the surface of the leaves and fruits. Then, this wax is commonly, it is not come from somewhere else and comes and lodges on the surfaces. No, it is produced by the epidermal cells of the host plant. Now, the amount or the quantity of the wax and the cuticle plays an important role in giving protection against the pathogens. So, this is one more image where you can see the presence of a thick wax and a cuticle on the surface in the both upper epidermis as well as in the lower epidermis. So, next we will take some examples. The presence of wax, okay, commonly it gives resistance to Berberry species which acts against Puccinia graminis tritici. So, the Puccinia graminis tritici is a common fungi which comes and infects Berberry species. So, this infection is naturally inhibited by the presence of thick cuticle on their surface, wax as well as a cuticle. And even the same way in linseed, which commonly gets infected by Melamspora linni, also the fungi Melamspora linni which infects linseed commonly, it gets banned by the presence of thick cuticle on their surface. Okay. So, along with the presence of cuticle and the wax, as we have discussed in the thickness of the cells. Now, thickness of the epidermal cells is because of the deposition of silica as well as lignin materials. So, silicification and lignification of the epidermal cells offer protection against Pericularia oryzae and Streptomyces scabies in paddy and potato respectively. So, moving on with the sclerenchyma cells. Sclerenchyma cells are the cells which are thick in nature because of high deposition of lignin. So, these sclerenchyma cells are commonly present in the stem as well as in the leaf veins. Now, these sclerenchyma cells, what they do? They will block the spread of some fungal pathogens as well as bacterial pathogens which causes angular leaf spot. So, moving on with the next one, structure of natural openings. Now, this structure of natural, why we call it as a structure of natural openings? In the last class we have studied natural openings are the path of infections very commonly. When they are open, the fungi finds its best way for their entry. Okay. Now, why we are speaking about structure of natural opening is here, the shape, size and location of the natural opening, it plays an important role in defense mechanism. Now, moving on with the first one, stomata. Okay, the fungi Puccinia graminis, the fungal species Tritici, can enter the wheat plant which causes stem rust of wheat through its stomata only when they are open, or else the fungi cannot enter that particular wheat plant. Okay. The structure of stomata also provide resistance against many pathogenic bacteria which enter into the plants. So this is the stomatal structure what we can find here. So this is one more image showing the stomata, okay, the opened stomata here on the leaf surface. So moving on with the next character, that is the lenticels or the structure. As we have discussed, lenticels are present in the barks of the plants naturally, and these stomata and lenticels are present for the gaseous exchange in plants normally. But as they are open structures, they find their way, the pathogens find their way to the entry of the plant. Okay, so these lenticels are commonly present in the surface of fruits, stem as well as in the tubers. Okay, so this shape and the internal structure of the lenticels can increase or decrease the incidence of fruit diseases. The shape and internal structure. The shape is, if the lenticels have a small shape, then it will inhibit the entry of the pathogen. If the lenticels are bigger in size, the openings are bigger in size, naturally they will be able to allow the entry of the pathogen easily. So you can see the example there in the potato, there are presence of the lenticels. So naturally the small and suberized lenticels will offer resistance to the potato against the pathogen Streptomyces scabies. So in today's class we have discussed about pre-existing structural defense mechanism. What are the different structures which are already present in the plant, give resistance against the various pathogens which comes and infects the host. In the next class we will study about induced structural defense mechanisms. Thank you.